None of our guys are dying. Heh, heh, heh. As though the Ukrainians don't matter at all. And that's the way they think of it. This is inflicting costs on the Russians. Joe Biden would say that over and over again. It's almost like the underpants gnomes thing. With the first you steal the underpants, then question mark, question mark, question mark, and then profit. Not really sure.
I don't know what that is.
On South Park, the poor, I think it's Butters, the underpants gnomes are stealing his underwear, and they're trying to explain how this is supposed to work. And they don't really have it worked out what they're going to do with the underpants, but they're sure they're going to make a lot of money in the end. And that's the same kind of thing here, where they skip the step about, well, is this really weakening Vladimir Putin's regime, or maybe it's strengthening his regime? Is it, increasing American power and influence in the region, or in fact, we're shown as sort of a paper tiger ourselves, and we've done more than you could have imagined to push Russia towards China and toward the rest of Eurasia. Joe Biden is essentially deliberately trying to prevent them from being part of European civilization and to emphasize their turn to the East. That seems to me to be a terrible mistake, and I think part of it is part of the longer term Cold War with China too. And you hear them talk about this, Joe. They'll say, essentially Russia's friends with China. So there's two things we can do there. And this is what I think Trump would prefer to do, would be just make friends with Russia and pull them away from China. Maybe he's already decided it's too late for that, or he doesn't know how. And then the other side was, no, lure Russia into Eastern Europe, bog them down so they're no use to China. Weaken their power, inflict them on them this strategic defeat in Ukraine, so that then they won't be as useful to China in our Cold War with them, or worse. And which I think is stupid and didn't work. I think that was the choice that Joe Biden made, and I think it was totally wrong, because it just strengthened the relationship between Russia and China. The Russians have a huge new pipeline that they opened, well, not that new, about 12 years ago, that they opened to China, and they keep adding to it. So they're able to sell all the hydrocarbons they want, and the Chinese will burn every hydrocarbon you got. So, they really don't need Europe. Joe Biden kicked them out and basically solidified their economic break with Europe, totally unnecessarily, but in a way that didn't really hurt Russia.
And the blowing up of the Nord Stream pipeline was a part of this? This was to disconnect their oil supply, or the natural gas supply, to Europe? Yeah,
in fact, more specifically, right, it was to make this break to solidify the break between Germany and Russia. So the previous German chancellor, Angela Merkel, she had this project she called Eurasian Home. And what she was trying to do was balance American and Russian interests in Europe, and then